Welcome, everyone. If you are new around here, I'm Janeen Marino. I am a world schooling mama out in South America. My husband is crawling on the floor behind me. And I'm here today with my friend Jen, and I'm super excited to talk about some things with you all, just about really like optimizing our health as we are like stepping into the 40s or in our mid 40s or 50s, and also just an amazing opportunity with you guys. So let me introduce this beautiful friend of mine. So Jen is she is over 40 as well. She is a mindset and health coach, and she helps women over 40 rewrite the rules physically, emotionally, and financially. So from van life adventures, so we definitely have the travel bug in common, to holistic healing. She blends movement, belief work, and nature-based peptides, which we're going to talk about, to help her clients build the strength, confidence, and freedom they've been craving. She's the creator of NextJen, which I love, and her mission is simple. It's to help women get strong, feel free, and build a life that they're obsessed with. So I absolutely love that, and I'm just so excited to dive in today. So Jen, I would love to hear a little bit about just like your background and where you have been on this journey.
Yeah, gosh, where do I start? So I was born and raised in Chicago and in my I think it was early 30s, I was like, I've always wanted to travel to California. I've always wanted to live there and just never thought I would. It was kind of one of those like someday, one day dreams. Well, I just started telling people I was going to do it and I made it happen. Found myself in California, lived there for 10 years. And then I kind of did the same thing with van life. It was like this one day, maybe if I get in a relationship, like I can do this thing. And it was a New Year's Day on the beach where I was sitting there with friends and I was like, this needs to be my life every day. Like I need more of this. At the time, I was working from home. I kind of transitioned through the pandemic from being a coach in a gym to taking all of my work online. And I was like, I've got no excuse anymore. Like I can travel now. And so I said, like, by the end of this year, I'm going to be in a van and like not really believing it. Like, how the hell am I going to do that? I don't know how to do van life. I don't have a van, all the things. But by the end of that year, I was living in a van and it's been the most incredible almost 3 years since.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So I am originally from Illinois too. That was like where we started our RV life, was from Illinois. We grew up in the suburbs of we were in like Downers Grove, Woodridge area, but then we moved out to the country in Bourbonnais and lived there for a while, and like the dream house and all the things, and then it was like, what are we doing here? So I absolutely love that. So tell me a little bit about how you transitioned and where you were before Make Wellness and how you transitioned into this space.
Yeah. So when I was leaving for van life, it was like, okay, how do I make money online, right? What am I going to do? And I was working for another network marketing company at the time, and I was doing okay, but not great. I always had the vision. Like I always saw like, the big long-term vision, the big goals. But like I said, I didn't have the right team, the right mentor. I liked the products, wasn't loving the products. And then we started to hear the buzz about like this peptide thing coming up. And at first I was like, okay, cool, but I'm not really looking for something new. And, maybe if you succeed, I'll try it type of thing. But I am never one to say no to an opportunity without really looking at it. And so I did my homework and I started to research like, what the heck are peptides? And I did more research into the brand and I already knew Justin Prince and was like, he's incredible and he's had a lot of impact on me. And so like I said, did my homework. And the more I read and researched about peptides, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. Like there's like this is my path. I'm meant to do this. And made the transition and I've had so much success with this brand. Like the company's amazing, my mentor's amazing. The teams are like, I know everybody says that about their company, but it
Our team is
truly
pretty
is.
awesome too.
Yeah, it truly is different here. I've never experienced the collaboration,
Hmm.
and just all the tools and the coaching and the training. So it's been such a blessing, and I love every minute of what I do here.
Oh gosh, I love that. And I can so relate to that because I remember when I first started seeing it, my initial thought was, no, I'm not looking at anything new. And then I just felt so led to like look into it. And it just felt like such a, I don't know, it was like a bright light. And so I remember looking into it and I did my homework. Oh my word. I am like an information junkie. And so I like researched, I dug into all the things and all the people because it's really important. Like, yes, the product matters. And what we are doing here is incredible because it's really revolutionary. It's really different than anything else out there, which was a really big key for me. But then on top of that, like I didn't know Justin Prince. And so I dug into his past. I like searched him every which way. I like talked to people that I knew were in businesses with him before I jumped in. And I did that all within like 48 hours. And then I was like, all right, I'm in.
Yep.
So that is awesome. Okay, so what is it about bioactive peptides that got you excited?
It was kind of the technology of it, right? So I've had a long healing journey myself where I'm not kidding, I probably spent tens of thousands of dollars on supplements over the years, and most of them went in the garbage. They didn't work for me. They caused more bloating. The sleep supplements weren't working. Like none of the things were working. And my digestion was just really poor. So when I was reading about peptides and how they bypass the gut and how they directly affect the cells, how they're way more potent, like this new innovation, that's when I was like, this is what I've been looking for, a way to help clients. Like, don't get me wrong, I 100% believe in the basics. We need to be getting outside, moving our body, drinking water, eating the right foods, doing all the things. However, I also know what it feels like to be stuck on your journey
Hmm.
where you've kind of spiraled down and you have no energy. Like you know you should eat healthier, but you just don't care. You know you should work out, but you just can't. And sometimes we need a little bit of help in that part of our journey. And I'm all for that. And the responses I get from my clients about how it's helping them where other things haven't just light up my day.
Oh gosh, that is so true. And I am the same. I've spent so much money on supplements trying to heal different things over the years. And it's crazy because so many times when I stop taking them, it's like, I don't see a difference. There's no
Yeah.
difference. I will say, especially traveling full time, we have to like stock up before we leave.
Sure.
So we've run out a few times and I can tell a difference. There's a huge difference. And so I love that. And for me, I think the biggest thing that like hit me when I understood it was cell communication and just
Mhm.
understanding that they're like messengers telling your body to do something specific rather than dumping supplements in that may or may not do what you hope they're going to do. And then also they're putting things in your body that is then possibly could be telling your body, oh, I don't need to produce that anymore. Where this
Yep.
is naturally increasing like NAD plus levels or whatever, because that's like such a trend right now. I feel like everybody is like hopping on the bandwagon and putting NAD into their body, but then their body's gonna stop producing it versus
Yeah.
raising that level naturally. I just like that just blows my mind. And I am not like I've always been like super, health conscious and crunchy, but like, and I'm not necessarily like a scientist or anything, but that is something that we can understand. Like it's going to tell your body to do this, like that's a big deal. So,
Totally.
anyways, I would love to hear a little bit too about your experience in network marketing and how did you like how long have you been in the industry? How did you initially feel about it? And I'd love to give us some insight on that.
Yeah, so this is my third company that I'm actually with. I got into this industry 5, 6 years ago at this point. It was when the pandemic happened, and before that, I was a trainer in a gym. So gyms were closed. My way to make money was like taken away from me. And I was like, well, I need to figure something out. Like, I can't afford to live on unemployment alone. It's not enough. I was living in California at the time, which rent was crazy.
Yeah.
And I was always one of those like network marketing, ew, that's a scam, MLM, like I will never do that. Um, However, like I said, gyms were closed. My opportunity to work at what I knew how to do was taken away. And I had known this girl, I met this girl who was selling beauty counter. And then I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it. It kept coming. And so I was like, all right, let me give this thing a try. She was a big influencer. And so she could like post and everyone would buy. And so I thought that was going to be my experience. So I would post and nobody would say anything. And I'm like, this sucks. This doesn't work for me. However, I do my due diligence. I did catch the vision. I knew what was possible in this industry. So I paid for extra coaching. I joined a leadership programming. I got really into the mindset part, and that's what started my mindset journey. I'm forever grateful for that because I recognized I needed to become the type of person, right? I needed to change myself to be better at this business. And so that's been like I've grown so much. Who I am today is so different. And quite honestly, it's what led me to have the courage to even do van life and do these amazing things in my life. So I went from, never do network marketing to I am one of its like loudest advocates. Like you guys, there's so much more than like selling products. It truly is. It helps you become a different and better person, and that changes every area of your life.
That's so true. And I think that a lot of people miss that one piece that you said. You decided and you went and said, I'm going to figure this out. And you went and got coaching and learned the skills. Like I feel like so often, because I've had like a little bit of a different experience. Like I tried back before social media and I was awful. I was so shy. I like could not even talk to people. I met people at like Panera's and sweated, and I talked to people that were twice my age and didn't know what I was doing. And I was awful. I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
This is like the worst thing ever. And then I remember, at one point, like trying all the other things. I was like, all right, I need to make some money. I was a homeschool mom. Like I was like, I got to find a way. And then when I finally was like, fine, I'll go online. And I was kind of like anti social media, not just anti network marketing. And I finally was like, all right, I'm going to do it. If other people can do it, I can do it too. And I just decided I was going to figure it out. And I started from like scratch. Like I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't know what I was doing. I just decided I was going to learn. I soaked up all the education and coaching I could find and then finally, had a breakthrough. And it was like consistency. So tell me a little bit about that journey then. And from okay, I learned the skills to okay, I finally am seeing success. Because so many times people just think like, oh, like I just see, when she started, she just showed up and it just started working. But like they don't see that beginning part. Like so many people judge like their day 10 from someone else's like year 5. So tell me a little bit about that journey.
It was definitely like this. So lots of like, it's working, I'm good. And then this sucks, I'm terrible. I don't know what I'm doing. I should just give up. Um, but I know that success in anything is about learning from those failures. And so I constantly remind myself of that. Like it's not failing, it's learning. So what did I learn from this? And if I'm not moving forward, then what am I not learning? I keep making the same mistakes, doing the same things. So what needs to change for me to get better and for me to grow? I also listen to other people's stories. Like, yes, I see the people who have success. They've also been doing this 30 years. I know they've failed a lot of times. They've heard no more times than me. And so it's been like a game or a puzzle. Like, what do I need to grow? How do I get to the next level? Where do I need to learn? Who do I need to surround myself with? Proximity is so big. When I started really kind of locking arms with, sideline coach like friends to do this business with, we helped each other. Like I would have a down day and my friend would, send me a message that would pick me up and I would do the same for her. And it's just really about not giving up, staying resilient, learning the lessons and always thinking about like, okay, how can I do that better? Not, it didn't work, I give up, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like, gosh, that's so true in so many things. Like it's really about just you keep going. You don't stop. And I think that a lot of people will hit like their first little road bump and they're like, oh, I suck. I can't do this. This isn't for me. And that's so not true. I feel like so many people think that if something goes wrong, it's not for them, or it's like oh, that must not be like my purpose, or that must not be the path I'm supposed to go on. But the path that we go on, it doesn't even matter what you're doing. It's never going to be a smooth road. It's always going to have bumps, and you're going to learn from those bumps. And without those bumps, like you don't get better. And so I feel like it's important to kind of embrace the suck, like just know that like it's gonna help you. And so I love how you said like you're like, okay, well, I must need to learn something. Like what do I need to learn from this is such an important question to ask yourself. So yes, I love that. So tell me a little bit about what your day looks like. So how much time do you spend a day on this business? Are you full-time, part-time? Like what does your typical day work look like?
This is a hard question for a van lifer. There's no such thing as a
Oh,
typical day. And
same.
you'll notice I'm not in my van. So I'm actually in Florida staying with my sister. I'm leaving this weekend, actually. Um, so when I'm stable, this is my full-time thing and I love what I do. And so it's a majority of my time, right? Um, I get up, I have a whole morning routine, I get my mind right, and then I will work for a little bit. I'll usually break up my day with movement or reading or breathing or meditating or something like that. But then I'm working in like 2 hour pockets. And one thing I've really had to learn is like setting boundaries with my social media use because this is a social media business and we post and we connect. However, I was finding it was making me anxious if I was just always on my phone,
Yeah.
right? And so like I don't pick up my phone and get on social media until at least 11 a.m. And then I've got times where when I pick up my phone, this is what I'm doing so that I'm not just getting on there and doom scrolling. And it still happens. I'll be like, dang, 30 minutes just went by. What was I doing? Like, I don't even know, or an hour. But being very intentional with how I'm spending my time on social media. When I'm in the van, that depends. Like travel days are kind of picking up my phone and working in pockets of time because I'm either driving or I'm like going to the grocery store or doing, I do all that kind of stuff in a day. So it's usually like travel day, chore day, get to a place, I'm there for anywhere from 3 to 5 days, and then travel day. So travel days and work days are kind of like that.
Yeah, that's sort of what our schedule is like too. It's like we have work and school days, and then we have like travel or explore days too. And so it totally depends. But what I love about this is that it looks different for everyone. Some people wake up in the early in the morning and do a little bit before they get their kids ready for school. And then they do a little bit like while they're at school or in the pickup line or, after kids go to bed or it's just it really, or if you have a job, like some people will batch create like content and stuff on the weekends. And so I love that you can make it work, regardless of your lifestyle, whether you're doing it full time or part time or, just in the pockets of your day. Like if you're moving the needle forward, like you're doing it. So
The the freedom is what drew me to this lifestyle and this business. I've got a lot of friends who live van life who work an 8 to 5. So like, yes, they're working remotely, but Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, they have to be somewhere. I can work 5 days straight if I want and then take 3 days off. Or
yeah,
if I want to go, play on a Tuesday and take the day off, I can. If I want to work on a Sunday, I can. Like I wanted complete freedom of my schedule. And I don't know any other business that you can run that allows you to do that like this. So I love the freedom part.
yeah, no, I agree. I think that was probably the biggest thing that got me back into the industry for sure. All right. So for obviously like we're not just about, financial freedom, but also making an impact and, helping people and all of that. But I want to hear a little bit about like there are so many people that I feel like watch from the sidelines, and I was one of them at one point in time. I watched from the sidelines for a little bit and thought, gosh, it would be cool if I could do that, especially when I was trying to start traveling again, because we had been in the RV and then we settled in a house for a little while. And then when we were trying to travel again, I was like, all right, I need to make an income. And so I want you to just talk for just a moment to the people that they want to get started and they're watching, but they feel stuck or unsure or they're not quite there yet. What would you say to them?
Do it. Find a good mentor, find somebody that will help and coach you, um, and go for it. Because I tell you what, like nothing's worse than regret.
Yeah.
Nothing is worse than thinking and wishing and hoping, and then 5 years goes by and nothing is changed in your life. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you go for it and it doesn't work, at least you know. But if you go for it and it works, like how amazing is that?
Yeah.
Right? Van life was a 2-year dream before I did it. My only regret is not doing this sooner. So many doors have opened. Like you can't even imagine how things change your life until you get in it. And you're missing that if you let fear hold you back from trying. There's really zero risk to trying this. Um, and I say try, but I really mean decide and put a good foot forward. But if you don't go for it, you'll never know. If you go for it, at least you know you went for it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love that so much. And I think that is so key. Decide and then learn the things to put your best foot forward because so many times we can say like I'm going to try this. It's different like even that verbiage sometimes I'll correct my kids when they say try and I'm like no, I will do this. Not I will try because I feel like so many times we can try something and then it gives us an out almost, but go ahead.
So as a mindset coach, I have what I call soft talk words. Try is one of them.
Mhm.
Maybe, probably, kind of, sort of, should. These all create confusion in the brain. Am I going to the gym or am I going to try to go to the gym? What does that look like? Either you're going to the gym or you're not. But when we say try, we're giving ourselves an out and we're making it okay if we don't do it.
Yeah.
But then we will always default to not doing it because that's easier and that's more comfortable in the moment. So if we really want to change, we need strong language. I will, I'm going to, I've decided. And then if it doesn't happen, make it okay. It's okay if I mess up. It's okay if I fail. It's okay. But if we use try to soften the blow of the failure, we never get anywhere and you end up failing and you feel worse about it in the long run.
Yes, that's so true. I've done that before so many times in life, I mean, if we think back, I think all of us have where we're like, yeah, I used to be stuck in that spiral. And so, oh gosh. Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today. I appreciate you and I'm excited to like meet you in person sometime, hopefully soon. And
Yeah.
I just am so grateful for just like pouring into people today with the mindset tips and stuff. So, as we are wrapping up, what is something you'd like to leave everyone with?
I think kind of what we talked about before, just going for it. So my van's name is Dream.
Oh, love that.
And one of the biggest things that I really want to help people with is to start dreaming again. I feel like that's a lost skill. We get so stuck in our lives, stuck in our problems, stuck with how could I? It could never happen, that I'm not good enough, it's not for me. And then we just get up and, pay the bills and go to work and go to the grocery store and do the laundry and maybe take a 2-week vacation a year, but we never really go after our dreams.
Mhm.
And so I just really want to invite people to be intentional about your time, be intentional about your day, be intentional about your thoughts, dream, imagine, find that childlike creativity of what could life look like if I traveled the world, if I traveled in a van, if, that doesn't have to be your dream,
Great.
but what are those things that are like that little voice in your head, it's like tugging at your heart, and go for it. Because if it happens, like it could be the most amazing thing. And if it doesn't, that's okay. At least you know. At least you've gone for it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Thank you. That was so good. Well, if anyone wants to connect with Jen, I will tag her in this so you can reach out. And yeah, if you are interested and want to hear more about Make Wellness and what we are doing here, whether you're interested in getting healthy with the peptides or you are interested in, going after your dreams and having financial freedom and being able to help and make an impact on the way, then reach out. I'd be happy to chat with you.